On January 6, 1941, amidst the shadows of World War II, President Franklin D. Roosevelt stood before Congress to deliver a State of the Union address that would etch itself into the annals of history. In the Four Freedoms speech, Roosevelt outlined a vision for the world, centered around four fundamental freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear. Welcome back to In 5 Minutes Extended Edition, where we dive deep into history's most fascinating events, all the time it takes to enjoy your coffee break. I'm your host, and today, we're continuing our special series on the State of the Union address with a pivotal moment that reshaped the world: Franklin D. Roosevelt's iconic Four Freedoms speech. Franklin D. Roosevelt outlined his vision of the four fundamental freedoms in the State of the Union address as succinct as possible, and I quote,
"In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression, everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way, everywhere in the world. The third is freedom from want, which, translated into world terms, means economic understandings which will secure to every nation a healthy peacetime life for its inhabitants, everywhere in the world. The fourth is freedom from fear, which, translated into world terms, means a worldwide reduction of armaments to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor, anywhere in the world."
But why were these freedoms' pronunciations so groundbreaking, and what was happening around the world at this time? Let's find out. While Roosevelt prepared to deliver his vision for a world, Europe was a fortress under siege. Hitler's forces were advancing relentlessly. Hitler defeated and occupied Poland in September 1939. Denmark fell in April 1940. Norway in the same month, April 1940. Belgium the following month, May 1940. The Netherlands also fell in May 1940. So did Luxembourg and France in the same month. Yugoslavia and Greece fell in April 1941, and Hitler was planning Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviets. It wasn't just happening there alone. In the East, Japan's expansionist ambitions were unfolding with rapid conquests across Asia and the Pacific. The occupation of French Indochina was but a step in Japan's quest for dominance, setting the stage for future confrontations on a global scale. In Britain, the Blitz raged over the skies of Britain, a relentless campaign by the Luftwaffe aimed at breaking the spirit of the British people. It was against this backdrop of adversity and courage that Roosevelt spoke of freedom from fear, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness of war. Yet, across the Atlantic, America stood at a crossroads, wrestling with the decision to enter the fray. In March 1941, something spectacular happened. The U.S. signed the Lend-Lease Act. This pivotal legislation allowed the U.S. to become the arsenal of democracy. The U.S. became a beacon of hope against tyranny everywhere, supplying the Allies with vital war materials. It was a clear step away from isolationism, signaling a deeper commitment to combating Axis aggression. The Selective Training and Service Act of 1940 had introduced the first peacetime draft in U.S. history, marshaling the nation's resources for the colossal effort ahead went into overdrive. And then came the Atlantic Charter in August 1941, a declaration by Roosevelt and Churchill, setting forth their vision for a post-war world. It was a vision that echoed the ideals of the Four Freedoms, a promise of a future built on peace, sovereignty, and human rights. Roosevelt's Four Freedoms weren't just lofty ideals. They were a call to action, a rallying cry for all who believed in the dignity and worth of every human being. In a world torn apart by war and tyranny, these freedoms offered a blueprint for peace, a vision that would inspire the creation of a new world order. But Roosevelt's vision went beyond mere words. It laid the groundwork for the United Nations, the Declaration of Human Rights, and eventually, the post-war world order. So what happened after this historic speech? In the years following, the Allies adopted Roosevelt's vision as part of their rallying cry against Axis powers. And after the war, the United Nations was formed, with Roosevelt's Four Freedoms echoing in its charter and in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And there you have it, the story of the Four Freedoms in just under 5 minutes. It's a testament to the enduring power of hope and humanity in the darkest of times. If you enjoyed this journey through history, give us a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more in 5 minutes. Until next time, keep exploring, and remember, the fourth episode of this series we will be looking at Lyndon Johnson's War on Poverty.